The ocelot is one of the most beautiful creatures on Earth. They're athletic, they have spots, they have rosettes, and it lives here in Texas, and is the only place where it's found in the United States. But its potential habitat is being reduced for, all the different factors that go into land fragmentation.
The ocelot is an endangered cat. We believe there are fewer than 100 ocelots remaining in the United States. Historically, it occurred in Central and East Texas and even to Louisiana. But now it's confined to two very small populations in extreme South Texas. And over the years, as human expansion has occurred in Texas, the population has decreased rapidly.
We're going to be checking a few traps to see if we have an ocelot. Then we'll put a GPS collar on it and track its movements throughout this area here to see its interactions with the different habitat types in the road system here. So I have my fingers crossed.
I think that the ocelot is our most beautiful and beloved endangered species in the state of Texas. And at a period of time, whenever we're witnessing and causing the world's 6th largest mass extinction.
No cat here.
And we're having a biodiversity crisis, and we're having habitat loss and fragmentation. The symbolism of losing our most magnificent and beloved cat would really indicate that all the other species that don't have a fan base don't have a chance.
Another strike.
Dr. Michael Tuas has been researching and tracking the ocelot since the inception of the Caesar Kleberg Wildlife Research Institute at Texas A&M University-Kingsville. Keeping their population alive and in the public spotlight has been his life's mission for almost 50 years.
I began working on the research project for my PhD in 1981, doing the first study on ocelots. And I had some old professors tell me that there are no more ocelots remaining in the state. And one even bet me a bottle of Jack Daniels that I wouldn't catch one. And I still had the bottle of Jack Daniels that he gave. So we started to collect ecological and behavioral information that was a first. And it started to tell us what kind of habitats do they need. We also learned the litter size, number of litters, timing of litters, their mating systems that they have, what they like to eat, and every bit of ecological information that we could get, we obtained.
Dr. Tuas' early work became the foundation for ocelot research across the nation. But his efforts connecting with private ranch owners to preserve their habitats is what ultimately led to their survival.
Texas is 95% privately held, and most of the private landowners that own a piece of Texas are incredibly proud and want to be a good steward of that chunk of the state. And that's what's so exciting about what's happening right now is the East Foundation is taking the lead on getting these safe harbor agreements so that landowners can be a part of all the benefits of having an endangered species without any of the concerns over restrictions or regulations.
So we just finished checking our traps in the Laguna Escosa Refuge, and we only trapped a raccoon and we got a bobcat there. Beautiful cat. Go ahead, leave. Time to leave. And we found information that an ocelot female was trapped here, so we hurried over here to get in on the sedation that's done by the East Foundation crew. They'll be sedating the cat, checking its overall health, put in some markers, get blood samples to do genetic analysis and disease analysis, and then most importantly, put a GPS collar on it so they can track it before it's released.
Your anesthesia, your monitor. You go.
One of the things that we decided to do with this small population of ocelots is that we needed to expand that population. And so we worked with Caesar Kleberg Wildlife Research Institute and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service along with the Natural Resource Institute at Texas A&M, to identify those candidate areas in South Texas where there's ocelot habitat, where there's no longer ocelots. And the best scientists for helping us with ocelots are at Caesar Kleberg Wildlife Research Institute. And the top scientist for decades has been Michael Tuis.
If you look into the recovery of an animal, oftentimes you'll find there's a handful and sometimes an individual person that has bulldogged and fought on behalf of that species for their whole career. And in Texas and in the United States for ocelots, that's Dr. Michael Tuis.
I think Mike Tuis will be well known for someone that overcame decades of obstacles, of which there has been many. He'll be known as someone that laid the foundation for what would be the recovery of an endangered species across deep South Texas. And it would not have happened without him.
Now, after decades of fighting for funds, Dr. Tuis's efforts are culminating with major milestones for ocelot recovery. The most recent being a multi-million-dollar captive breeding facility, which will operate as a collaboration between the East Foundation and Texas A&M University-Kingsville.
The goal of this facility is to really breed cats, breed ocelots, and put them into the wild to help the small isolated populations and to help create a new population on the San Antonio Viejo Ranch, which is owned by the East Foundation, which they're sorely needed.
You know, right now we have 100 cats. There's one wildfire, one horrible hurricane, one disease outbreak from, potentially losing the species forever. It's gonna be a long road to recovery, and hopefully will be one that is ongoing for many, many decades. But I think one of the exciting things is, Dr. Tuis is leaving, but there's a lot of talent that's coming in his footsteps at Texas A&M Kingsville. And I think that until the day he dies, he's gonna be involved in ocelots.
Our hope is that we go from having somewhere near 100 ocelots to over 200 ocelots in the state of Texas. Long term, I'd like to have ocelots all over South Texas. They don't hurt anything, they're beautiful, they're iconic, they represent wild Texas, and they're completely compatible with ranching. And ocelots will exist in South Texas because of ranching, not despite it.
I guess all of us, if we're lucky enough to choose the line of work that we really get involved with, we hope that we're going to make a difference. And for many years, I felt like I wasn't making a difference. And to actually see the ocelot is going to be here well beyond me and my colleagues is just gratifying beyond belief.